welcome back. For those of you who don't know me, I am an art teacher, an artist, and a muralist from right here in the Portland, Oregon area. And on this channel, I upload a new video every single Monday morning. So if you're into all things artsy fartsy, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. Today is our very first paint along. That means you guys should be able to follow along right at home in real time. This video has very minimal amount of editing, so there's really not a whole lot of jumping around. So go ahead and get your paintbrushes ready so that we can paint ourselves a pretty little picture. With that all said, let's get painting. Okay, so let's go over all of our supplies. First, I have my painting surface. This is an 8 by 10 inch birch panel. You can use canvas or whatever you like. Then we have our palette knife for both mixing the paint, and then we're also going to be using it to paint with on our surface. And then we have our fan brush and a 1-inch flat. And then we have our acrylic paints, titanium white, primary yellow, red oxide, phthalo blue in a green shade. This is an older one I'm going to try to use up first. Some Mars black. And then we have some water here and some paper towels for drying off our brush. And this is a painting I did a few weeks back. I did a video on that for cryptids. This is the color palette we're going for today for this new painting here. So I'm using it as a reference so I can make some colors that match. So it works with the artwork that I'm putting on in the Mont restaurant in Portland. So there we go. There's our supplies. Let's get started. Okay, so our very first step is to let's mix up our colors here. I have glass palettes. It's what I use. It's the easiest thing to clean. I just scrape them right off when I'm done, and when they dry, they can peel off really easily. So I definitely don't recommend wood. Wood will just absorb the paint and soak into it, and you'll never get it cleaned again. There's also acrylic, that's fine. You can also scrape those off. Some people like the wax paper, which it's easy to clean up because you just throw it away, but it's kind of wasteful. And on top of that, the paper does tend to wrinkle. And it just kind of makes a bigger mess, I found. So that's why I like using glass. These are both old windows, by the way, so it's not like you have to pay anything for them. This was a piece of my car windshield that I had the guy cut for me when he was replacing it. And then this is a glass piece to a broken screen door that we used to have. So my palette's here. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started with mixing our colors. So white and yellow, we're going to make a soft yellow color here, but we don't actually have to mix that. We can just mix that on the brush. What we do need to mix is this dark navy blue and some of these peaches and oranges. Actually, I might need to add in some cad orange. So we should probably add that to the list of paints we're using today. But let's go ahead and get started anyways. So I'll mix up some of that red. I need my handy little opener here. This guy's amazing. I just sort of found him in the toolbox one day. He works great. Has a little dent there, indent to latch onto the caps, and they come right off. It's pretty cool. Anyways, that's what I use to open these, because when they dry, sometimes they get stuck like this. Okay, so I am going to speed up through this part here because I don't think you guys really want to watch me mix the colors together. But all I'm doing is I'm trying to match the colors in that other painting to the colors I'm mixing on the right hand side there, so we can use them in this painting. Okay, so we are doing a painting today of Trillium Lake, Mount Hood. I loosely sketched out sort of the shape. Mount Hood's very sort of wide looking at it from this perspective over here. So it really comes out. It's not like your traditional, you know, mountain peak or what kids draw, right? It's not really sharp. It goes out more like that. So anyways, that's what we're painting today. So whenever you start with a painting, especially landscapes, you always work from the farthest away to the closest, right? So we're gonna do the sky, and then the mountain, and then the trees, and then the lake, and then stuff right up close, and then detail. So that's the process that we're going to be doing today. So first, you need to get your flat brush, get a little water on there, not too much though, and then once it's wet, you just sort of tap off the excess water there. And then we're gonna go into our sky colors. I'm going to do the red first, the darkest red. I'm just going to loosely brush that in, swiping it left to right, horizontally, left to right, just like this, just towards the top. Okay, this will be a fun little sunset painting. And then I'm going in with that orangey color, and again, left to right, super soft. I'm gonna clean off my brush now. I'm gonna make sure I get all that darker red off. And go back into that orange and do it again, left to right. I'm doing the darkest orangey and red colors at the top and fading down to pale yellow and white. So the closer we get to the horizon line, the softer it becomes. So again, left to right, dropping it down even more, blending a little. Kitty cats are asleep right now, so let's hope they don't wake up. I actually waited till this time of the day, around lunchtime. It's when they take their nap. Otherwise, they're in here playing with stuff, or they actually like to use my studio as, we call it the Thunderdome. They just come in here and start battling. And then they also play parkour in here, which is kind of fun to watch sometimes. Okay, then we go into the yellow and then the white, and we're making a nice light yellow, pale yellow, like lemon meringue, which would be lovely if I had a slice of that right now. Okay, left to right, just a little, but more as we get lower and lower and lower. Don't worry about painting over your mountain, it's totally fine, because we're gonna paint the mountain over the sky. I'm gonna put a little bit up here, just a little, just like that. I'm gonna clean off my brush. I want to get some of that yellow off my brush, and I'm just going to take some of this pure white. I still have a little yellow on my brush, which is fine, but I want it even lighter now. And I'm going to go in, keep doing that, left to right. Just drop in a little bit of white, not too much, and then go back into my yellow. I want the white to be kind of subtle. And again, I'm painting over some of the area where the trees will go, and that's fine because we're painting the trees over that. So I don't care. Don't worry about painting things. You're gonna paint over them anyways. And then I think I want to go back into that dark red and add more of that. So this is just sort of a give and take game here at this point. We're just adding in, taking away, you know, taking away some darkness, adding in some darkness, taking away some light, adding in some light, just until you like it, right? It's just until you feel like the painting looks right to you. I'm going to darken that up. And I like this orange color, so I want more of that. I'm going to put more of that in here. And drop it down a little. Not a big fan of the yellow, so I'm going to put more orange than yellow, I think, right now. Taking away that light, adding in some of these darker oranges here, dropping that down. Just a little. Okay. There, I think that's okay. All right, let's go on to the next step. So the next step is the mountain. So we need to let this dry if we want to add like fluffy clouds in it. So mountain, and if you want to put clouds in, we can do that next. But the mountain, I'm thinking will be, well, I'm not sure. Let's take a look at our painting here. So this dark navy blue is going to be the color of the trees and some of the lake. So if I do the same thing as the mountain, it may be boring. You know, we may need to add a different color or lighten it. We can try lightening it. So we can make a lighter version of this color for here. But the very first step is to get the base color in for the mountain, right? You need 3 colors. You need your base color, a shadow color, and a highlight color. So the base color, let's go ahead and make it that dark navy color, which is the phthalo blue, a touch of black, and a little bit of white. Because if you don't add that white in, it's just going to look black. That white really helps to bring out the blue so it looks more navy. See if I can slide the camera down. Watch this. There we go. Okay, see that? It's a nice color, right? Okay, we'll use that. So mixed up my color with my beautiful flat brush. I'll link everything in the description down below so you guys can pick it up on Amazon for super cheap prices too. Okay, I'm gonna slide you back over. Yay, all right. And then clean off this bad boy. I'm gonna take that beautiful dark color on my palette knife. I'm just going to go ahead and scratch in the general shape of Mount Hood. Right? It doesn't have to be exact. It's not going to be exact, but it kind of has a flatter top, and it comes out at a pretty nice angle like that. And then she's got a little hump on the side. Something like that. Just a general shape. It does not have to be perfect, okay? Don't worry about anything being perfect in your art. Imperfections are more beautiful anyways. And then that's pretty much it. Super easy. Clean off your palette knife. Then we need a shadow and a highlight color. Okay, so usually I just add a variation of this color with white for a shadow. It's pretty easy. So I'm going to take that same color, but I'm going to add a touch more white in it. Just like that. I'll slide you back over. That's fun. Okay, mix up this color. Like that. We can do that. And then the third color, the highlight color, would be an even lighter version. So let's slide you back over here. Move this out of the way. Okay, so now I'm going to take my palette knife and put just a little on the tip. You can see that. A little bit of a roll. And I'm going to graze over Mount Hood. Again, this is not going to be perfect. It's just not going to look exactly like Mount Hood, okay? And that's fine. When you do graze it, you want to kind of hold your palette knife pretty flat, not too much at an angle, right? You don't want to do that. You want to hold it more like that so that it gently kisses your surface. Okay, so I'm just going to take my palette knife and gently kiss the surface here and pull down, okay? And kind of follow the shape of your mountain if you can. So we can start over here. Just a little at a time. You can always add more. It's harder to take away, right? I always tell my students that you can always add more. It's so much harder to take away what you put down. Look at that. Hopefully you guys can see that. Yeah, looks like you can. Beautiful variation of colors and textures here when you do this. Oh, that was too much. That's okay. There we go. Ta-da! That was easy. Okay, so let's make a brighter version of that. I'll slide you back down. All I'm doing is adding white into that blue, making even lighter. Now again, so the sunset's setting behind this picture Mount Hood, which by the way, it's totally inaccurate with the angle and everything. But it doesn't really matter, right? I'm just teaching you guys how to do a quick little pretty mountain painting. And you know, if it looks prettier with the sunset behind it than in front, so be it. Okay, so even lighter. Okay, same thing, slide you back over. Okay, and then I'm just gonna gently kiss it with this lighter color. Just like that. Just put a little on the top there. So I'm going to use this side of the palette knife, the smaller side, and do the same thing carefully, if possible. We'll see. My hands are a little shaky. I have some hand issues. A lot of painters develop hand issues later on in their career. It's a thing, you know, it is what it is. There we go. So that's also part of the reason why I don't paint with a tremendous amount of detail anymore, is because I just can't. I just can't. My poor hands have just had it. They're shot. So I do what I can though. There. That looks pretty cool, right? Sort of looks like the sun's behind it, right? We don't have any dramatic highlights and shadows, which is good, because then that definitely would make even less sense than this already does. Because again, from this angle, the sun, I'm like 99% sure the sun does not sit at this angle, right? It sits from behind where the viewer is looking at it. But anyways, so I think that looks really, really cool. So we can get on to the next step now. So the next step is trees. So I want my trees to be dark like they are in this painting, right? So I'm going to go back into that really dark navy blue color. I'm going to slide you back down so you can take a look there. I got to make more. This is not enough. Getting closer. Need more black. If your paints start drying out, all you have to do is sprinkle some water on them. These are thick-bodied paints, so they do dry out a little faster than thin-bodied paints. Just sprinkle it, just like that. Just keep the moisture there so they don't dry. Acrylics dry pretty fast. Okay. All right, so this is a fun color. So let's go in here. Get this beautiful blue color loaded up on the fan brush. I'm going to slide you back down. Okay. And with my fan brush, I'm not brushing it this way. I'm brushing it using the side, right? Tapping. I go down, and then you could tap down on this end, but we're not swiping, okay? So I'm going to start by, again, tapping, okay? So I'm just going to start tapping. These are the smallest trees that are farthest away, so we don't have to worry about details and branches yet. We're just tapping in these little guys here. Just like that. Just tapping across Mount Hood. Comes out to about there, I think. Okay, those are the ones that are farthest away. So let's go ahead and go back into our paint. Let's use the dark paint now, right? Things that are farthest away are lighter. Okay, so always remember that. So if you want to give it the illusion of depth, go lighter and then medium and then darkest as it gets closer to you. Okay, so now what we can do is start drawing the line, and then holding your fan brush horizontally, you tap, right? So we were tapping vertically up and down, right? And now we're doing horizontally for the branches, like that. You see that? That was really easy. So I'm gonna do it again. And I'm just gonna sort of sketch out where my trees are gonna go by doing this, dropping in their trunks. Like that. I'm gonna save some room on the side for one really big tree. That's gonna be mostly black, I think. So I'm not putting the trees super close together. I'm leaving some space, just a little bit there. I'm also trying to make them look like they're at a little bit of an angle here and there. I don't really care about that, because that's gonna be black. There's a big tree gonna go there later. Okay, let's do the other side. So the trees start getting bigger here. And here, let's just tap a few more in first. Like that, just sort of filling in the gaps at this point. Okay, and then make them bigger and bigger. Angle. See how I left a little bit of the background there? I didn't fill in my trees all the way, right? I don't want them to look like a Christmas tree that, you know, something I would have drawn when I was 10 years old, right? We want the breaks in it. Okay, so now that we have that down, it's time to do the water. Okay, so we're gonna add some of the reflection from the sun in there, and then also the shadow from the trees and the mountain. But the very first step is to just drop your water line in. Okay, so somewhere like this. And again, yes, I'm painting over some of the trees, and guess what? That's fine. That's totally fine. Okay, and that was the darkest. I should probably lighten this now with some white, which I'm running low on. Ooh, that made a nice sort of a green color. Ooh, let's use some of this. Yeah, that's good. Let's do that. Just gonna lighten it a little. It's kind of dark. Yeah, that's a better base color, I think. that's nice. Okay, I'm gonna take that dark color again and find my trees and just sort of mirror them just slightly in the water. Just a little, not a lot, right? They don't have to be perfect. I just need to get some of the darkness in there. And then I'm going to take my fan brush and pull down and swipe across. Pull down, swipe across, just like that. This one had too much swipe. Less swipe, there we go. Okay, and then we need to do the trees back here, just a little, right? Just a little. Tap. Pull. Give it a swipe. Okay, nice and subtle. Okay. I'm going to clean off my brushes really, really well by putting them in the water all the way down until their bristles touch the bottom of the cup. And I'm going to swirl them around and scrub off all that pigment. And then dry them off on a paper towel, which I'm not showing you guys. I guess I thought maybe you'd be not interested in watching that. But here we go. Let's do it anyways. Okay, here's the cup. All the way down. Scrub, scrub, scrub. Pull it out. Paper towel, pat dry. Still have some color on there, but it's fine because we're still working on the water, so a little bit of blue won't kill us. And then let's get some of this color down in here. So let's start with some yellow, soft yellow. I need more white, more white. Okay, so let's again, left to right, swiping our fan brush just a little here and there. Sort of like what we did in the sky. We're going to repeat that in the water here. And again, we can add and take away. Add and take away. Don't worry, I can always add more shadows back in. Not a big deal. Okay, there's plenty of yellow there. Okay, plenty. I'm going to drag it down just so that we might be able to see some of that color through the orange and reds. And then I'm going in with the orange, doing the same thing, left to right, gently grazing it left to right. Loosey-goosey, don't press too hard. Little goes a long way. Okay, little goes a long way. And let's go into some of the terracotta color maybe. Add that in there. Oh yeah, look at that. I'm gonna take away some of that yellow, because that's a lot of yellow. And try not to make like a perfect mirror, right? That might look silly. Let your colors kind of mix a little. So some red down here. Let the blue bleed into the yellow, and the yellow bleed into the blue. We don't want it to look like a triangle in the water. Okay. And then I'm going in with that really, really dark red, just a little bit towards the very bottom. See, just a little here and there. Okay, I think I want to add in some blue now into the water. Again, we're adding and taking away. So now we're adding in the blue again because we took away a lot of blue and I want a little bit more. Get some of that blue. Ooh, let's make it a little whiter, a little lighter with the white. Just a little bit. Is that too light? Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. Okay. Just gently start off with a little here and there. I'm just softening up that dark color of the water, lightening it just a little bit there. It's very dark back in here. It's very dark. Let's lighten that up. We don't want our paintings too dark, right? People tend to like brighter and lighter paintings, both in color palette and subject matter, just from speaking from personal experience. You know, everybody loved those really weird, morbid paintings I did of the faces, but it took forever to sell them. Okay, so now let's go ahead and use our palette knife and add in some details in the water. So, palette knife, clean it off. Mine's filthy. Get all that color off of there. And I'm gonna go in with that light blue. You can go in with white if you want. I'm gonna use light blue to start. Even lighter than what I have. I'm gonna make that nice light color and then clean off my brush again. I'm sorry, my palette knife. And then scrape in a nice little roll without the cat fur. And then I'm gonna cut in some ripples and make a waterline. So the waterline is pretty straight, but I don't want to draw a solid straight line across, right? I want to break it up a little. It'll look better that way. I'm gonna tap it in at first. Again, my hands are just kind of shaky, so I'm just gonna tap it in. It's easier if your hands shake too. There. And then I'll come across and I can slide it left to right. So we have little ripples. Here and there, really subtle. And then I'm going to brighten them up with even more white. That might be too much. Okay. Tapping and swiping, tapping and swiping, tapping and swiping. Isn't that a pretty little painting so far? Okay, let's add some black trees. Because they're the closest to us. We're going to make them completely in shadow. I'm going to take my fan brush and some black. Right? I don't think I can get any darker blue than that, so it's going to have to be pure black. So I also need a clean spot on my palette, and it's a mess. I'll slide it over and you guys can look. Ta-da! Yours probably looks something like this too, and that's fine. That's fine. We can always clean it up. When you're not using your brushes, I recommend you either clean them and set them aside or leave them in the container of water. I do not recommend leaving them in the container of water for very long though, definitely not more than an hour or two, because what happens is the water soaks up through the bristles and into the wooden handle and destroys your brush. So don't do that, but you can leave them in for a little while. I mean, I have my brushes for, some are over 20 years old. I think some might be like 25, 30 years old. They're ancient. Some of them were my mom's, and they're still fine. Okay, just as long as you don't leave them in the water. Occasionally, I think last month I found one that it had it, and that was one of the oldest ones. It was like 25 or 30 years old, and the handle starts to split here. So you can see this one's starting to do it too. This one's also kind of old. First it starts with the paint cracking and peeling, and then the wood splits, and anyways, just don't, long story short, don't leave your brushes in the water overnight. Okay, black, right there. We don't need much. I put way too much down. Well, that's okay. We're gonna drop in a couple of giant trees. Get a little bit of water on there. We want it to flow, but we don't want it watery like ink or anything. We want it a little thicker than that. Like that. And that's a good consistency. I'm gonna slide you back over. Ta-da! Okay, let's drop a couple of monster trees in here. One here. That looks good. And then tap the branches in. Left to right. Leave some space to show some of that trunk. And as you go down, fill it in more and more. Fill that in. Leave some of that water coming through too, just because it's so pretty. I'll just fill that in though, right there. That's fun. Okay, let's do it again. This one, even bigger. Yes, I think, shall we make it come off? Is that too big? I don't know. Let's try it. The whole area. There we go. That's fine. All the way up to the top. Tap a little at first. You can always go back and fill in, remember? Remember, you can always add more. It's harder to take away. So I'm going to go back and fill in some more. Make these a little bit bigger. Coming off of the painting. Like that. Like that? Yeah, that's okay. I like that. I need more water. Just a little. Okay, so let's fill this in. Bring this out a little. Bring this out a little. Make the branches go up a little there. That's fun. There you go. That's about all there is to it. We can add some details towards the bottom, maybe some grasses, or like maybe the ground sort of comes out like that. A little, you know, like that would be good. And then swiping up and down, we're gonna make some grasses and things with our fan brush. Like this. We can press them in like this. I like the swiping version better. It's a little softer. Tap in some of that ground there. That's fun. Should we do the same to the other side to make it balanced? Okay, let's do that. Just a little, not as far. We'll go to like there. That's good. That's good. See, now I'm just having fun because I'm pretty sure that this I don't think this looks like this in real life. You know what? I actually haven't been to Trillium Lake, which is weird. Hopefully I can go there in the next couple weeks. My friend mentioned that she wanted to go and we love to hike. So maybe we will do that and see it in person. Oregon is just gorgeous. There's so much to see and do here. It's like you can never see it all in a lifetime, I feel like. We have all these beautiful areas. We have the desert and the mountain, beach, marshland. It's just gorgeous. Okay, well now it's almost connected. We can connect it. Should we connect it? I don't know. Is that too much if we connect it? What if we did it? What if? I like what ifs. They're fun. There. Sure, that's fine. That looks good to me. Okay. I'm pretty much done, unless you want to add clouds. Do we want to add clouds? Probably. I don't know. I feel like the sky's kind of boring, and it's definitely dry, so we can definitely do it now. So let's get a brush, a clean, dry brush, small brush. I'll show you where I keep my brushes. And a little art bin. They're definitely loved. Something like this, like a little round brush. Or you can use bigger round brush. What else do I have in here? Nope. That would be too thick. I need a slightly bigger round brush or a flat. A short little fatty like this one. But the bristles are too stiff. You want something with softer bristles. It'd be nice if I had a better organization system here, I think. So this one, is it maybe? That one's good. Okay. This is a nice round, small, and it's soft. We'll do that. Let's try that. So I'm gonna take a little bit of paint, not a lot, okay? Please don't take a lot of paint. It won't work, it'll be a mess. And I'm gonna even wipe some of mine off. Remember, you can always add more. Taking away is just a little harder. And then I'm gonna scratch in little circles here and there, little clouds. You just scratch it right in. Little circles. Just a few, I think. Doesn't have to be a super cloudy day. Make sure you're not brushing up and down, because then that'll look like a storm cloud, like the rain's coming out of it. So you want to keep it light and fluffy. Right? I mean, unless you're trying to make a stormy looking painting, that'd be cool. We can do one of those later. Get it right up next to that mountain so it looks like it's behind it. Usually I recommend doing your clouds first and then just painting your mountain over it, but you know, I wanted my sky to dry. What do you think? More here, right there. Can you even see that? Hopefully. My box. That's my art supply box over there, by the way. Hopefully I'm not boring you guys. Sorry I'm so tired today. It happens, you know? People get tired. It was a long week today at work. I just teaching all the kids and then trying to get ready for the Mont restaurant. This piece will be at the Mont, by the way, for sale. Yeah, and then gosh, I'm just so busy lately. And I'm supposed to do 2 more murals, but I don't know if I'm gonna get that done this year, honestly, which is fine. Like, one's for the hotel. I still need to reach out to them and that's gonna be a huge project. So that might have to wait till next year. No worries. But I also wanted to do one in my backyard, and I feel like summer is winding down real fast, you know? It's a bummer. I feel like it just got started. Anyways, what do you think? Is that good? That look great? I think that looks fantastic. Okay, so there you go. Let's get a close-up. Here we are. This was a super quick little painting. I don't think it took us very long. I had fun doing this one. I hope you guys did too. Let me know what you think in the comments down below if you have any questions. And I'll zoom in really close. You can see all that fun stuff in the water there. All right. All right, so there you go. I hope you guys had a lot of fun following along this video, and I bet your paintings turned out great. I would love to see them. Go ahead and feel free to tag me on Instagram at Caroline Green Art. Until next week, everyone, bye.